Hey, welcome everyone. I am going live today to talk a little bit about, excuse me, knowing where your customers are at on their buying journey. So this is something that I absolutely love talking about, especially when it comes to talking about Pinterest and how that all fits together with your marketing strategy. And when we're talking about Pinterest, one of the things that a lot of people kind of overlook is figuring out where your customers are at on that buying journey. So today I'm going to just give you a quick few tips on how to do this and then how you can go apply that to Pinterest, or if you're utilizing Pinterest as just a research tool, the same tips that I'm going to talk about here can be applied there as well. So if we're looking at Pinterest, with your customers, when they're on Pinterest, your Pinterest users, they're utilizing that platform 100% differently than somebody that is scrolling Facebook or Instagram. The audience that you are building on Facebook and Instagram, those are warmer leads. Those people know you, they're following you for a reason, so they are already somewhat warmed up to you, who you are, what you have to offer. Somebody that you come across on Pinterest has no idea who you are, and they could care less, honestly. They're in a frame of mind of they're looking and they're seeking and they're searching for something, for a solution to a problem. So they are very, very focused on finding a solution to what they're looking for. So my first tip for you today is that with your customers, knowing that they are searching for a solution is that first tip. They are not your followers. They are not they are not your Facebook friends yet. You can build a following on Pinterest. As people follow you on Pinterest, that becomes a little bit warmer of connections that you have on that platform. But somebody that's just opening up Pinterest and starting to search and comes across you for the first time, that is what I'm talking about for this first tip. So they are searching for a solution to a problem. You, as the business owner, the better you understand how they would express or describe their pain points, how would they describe or talk about the problem that they're trying to solve, that is the language you want to hone in on, and that is the language, the words, the terms, the keywords you want to then apply to your side of the Pinterest strategy, because that's where when you know what they're looking for, that is how you then, as a business owner, can then become visible to them. Because otherwise you're just going to repurpose content that you're creating on other platforms. You're just going to be putting pins out there because you think that you're not going to have like an idea of how that fits into your customer journey. Yes, I think there is a place within Pinterest so that you have this strategic approach where you're looking at your customers and you're creating content based on what they're looking for. You're creating offers based on what they're looking for. But then again, you're also repurposing or putting other helpful content onto the platform that will help capture some of that general audience within your niche or your industry on Pinterest. So tip number one is just knowing that your customer, they're in problem solving mode. So that's how you're gonna connect with them, is figuring out what they are looking for. The second thing that you're gonna look for, my second tip for you today, is once you kind of know what they're searching for, what their problems are, reverse engineering that journey a little bit. So what you want to do is think about, if you kind of have an idea of what they're looking for on Pinterest, where they're at today, start reverse engineering that a little bit, or start playing with that journey a little bit. If they're here on Pinterest looking for XYZ solution today, where will they be in their journey a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now? And then vice versa, where were they a month ago, 6 months ago in their journey? Where, kind of play with that idea a little bit and understand that somebody that comes to Pinterest, they're on this consistent journey. So they're using Pinterest as a search and discovery tool, number one, to solve problems, to get solutions, to get answers, to figure things out. So when you put those together, you can start to piece together the steps that they might take while they're in that search and discovery mode, while they're progressing on that buying journey. And then you might be able to better figure out ways that you can create different offers, whether that's through your content, whether that's through freebies, whether that's through low ticket offers, or as you start to bring them into your world, you start to build your email list, you can get a better idea of how you can serve them once they are a part of your world and your business. So that is number 2, is to kind of reverse engineer that customer journey a little bit, figure out where they're at, where they're going, where they were. And then tip number 3, the other thing to keep in mind is that your customers on Pinterest, they are planners. They are planners. So when they first find you, they might be planning for something that they're going to take action on a month from now, 3 months from now. So think in your mind today, as we sit here, this is a Wednesday, we're in December as I'm recording this. What would your customer in your industry, what would they be planning for 3 months out, 2 months out from now? Think about that. And that is a great way to put content on the platform that's going to help pull them in. And you're helping to serve them by helping them with that planning process, because in that 2 month time frame, 3 month time frame, they're going to take action and they're going to buy. Quite often with pinners being planners, they're going to make those plans, save those pins, save that information to their boards, and they're going to come back and take action on that because they are storing those resources. So if you're in an industry, for example, like the teaching industry, if you have digital products, Teachers Pay Teachers, you're on Shopify, you have those digital products for your customers, you know your ups and downs, your ebbs and flows in your time of year, and you know your customers as teachers are likely going to be saving a lot of your resources and information in June and July, but they're going to be looking at buying and taking action as we get into late July, early August. So kind of thinking in the frame of mind of where your people are at based on what they might be planning for today. And that is another way you can better understand where they're at on Pinterest today. And it also helps you as a business owner not get frustrated and sit in thinking, I'm putting all these pins out there and I'm getting nothing. Well, you really have to keep in mind that number 1, it's not Facebook, it's not Instagram, it's not Facebook ads. You're not going to Amazon Prime your way to build a relationship with somebody that has never met you before. It just doesn't work that way. So keep in mind that your customer is on this evolving journey. And number 1, there is work on the front end to even get in front of them. So with Pinterest being a search engine, you have to keep that frame of mind that you have to get found organically in search. And that's where you pull in like your keyword strategy, your profile being optimized, and being very strategic in the content that you're putting out there. And that over time will help to pull people in. But then you're also kind of keeping in mind the strategy behind where your people are at different points of the year. And that's going to help you determine what types of products or services or offers or content is going to do well at certain points of the year, and when you know you're going to have some ups and downs throughout the year. That is kind of that long-term organic growth, organic traffic game that you're going to play. But again, it's not ads, so you're not rolling the dice you're just not rolling the dice on ads. This is just a different way to look at your marketing and really, really trying to understand that customer journey and how that plays a role in how you're utilizing Pinterest versus just repurposing content. You can repurpose content. It does work. It does help to build traction on the platform, and it does help to build your presence on the platform. But there's this other piece that really, really needs to come into play where you're looking at being strategic and understanding and knowing where your customers are at, how they're thinking, where they're at on their journey, what their next steps are going to be, and then how you can then be there because you know where they're at on their buying journey and you know how to serve them. So I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions at all, if you're watching the replay on this video, please feel free to drop questions in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. And then at this time, if you guys are interested in learning more about this part of Pinterest, where we're looking at that strategic piece, that planning piece, where you're looking at creating a profitable Pinterest strategy, this is something that I do cover within the Pin with a Plan workshop, which is happening next week on December 29 at 12 p.m. That is free at this time. It is the only time I'm offering it for free. So I will be, if you're watching this on Instagram, the link in my bio will get you registered. If you're on Facebook, the link will be below in the comments of this post. But we do talk about these key things of what you kind of have to think through, walk through, have in place before you even touch Pinterest. Because if you don't have an understanding about what your customer is doing, what they're looking for, what they want, and also what your goals are with the platform, and then looking at that overall strategy piece, if you don't have those key pieces in place, it's going to be harder to figure out what you're doing when you open up an account on Pinterest and the boards you're creating and the pins that you're putting out there. So to get everything else to work, it's one thing to just open up an account and just exist on Pinterest by throwing pins out there. It's another thing to really focus on being strategic and building a presence on Pinterest, but also building a presence that builds community that converts for you in your business on Pinterest. And so that's going to be the few things that I'm covering in this free workshop happening next week. If you're interested in learning more, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, the link is in my bio or in the comments below to register, and I will see you guys there. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will be back next week with another video and tips about Pinterest marketing in your business. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.